All right, y'all, we're back for episode 4. We're going to get right into it. So today's episode is titled The Ruthless Pursuit of Blood with All a Child's Demanding. Elia loves titles. Elia, what are your thoughts about this title?
So, right out, ruthless. Okay, ruthless, and then pursuit. So I'm looking after something, but I don't care what it costs me. I'm pursuing it anyway. Like this is just my just natural instinct. This is what I want, and this is what I need. More importantly, this is what I need. So, a
Mm.
child. I don't care if there's a blizzard outside. I don't care what's going on. This is what I need to survive. So, at the end of episode 3, we see that Louis is saving someone. We hear him mention her name, but they don't go any further than that until episode 4, which we are covering now. They have made a new vampire. So, ruthless pursuit. We know that killing is wrong, but it doesn't matter. This is what I need to survive. And I'm going to just go ahead and put a pin in me right there.
All right, so that's good. So that gets us right into the making of Claudia. So at the beginning of the episode, we see basically Louis is racing home. He's trying to get Claudia to Lestat, knowing that he can't make a vampire because he's in a weakened state. So he begs Lestat, and Lestat just kind of looks at him. And there's a lot of different emotions going on his face. Do we all recall that particular moment?
So for me, this is when he shows he genuinely loves Louis. As messed up as this whole dynamic is, he loves Louis because he could have just
Very
outright
much
let
so.
Claudia die a human death, not made her a vampire, but because this is something that Louis desires, he really wants this girl to live. Like this is where we see, okay, at face value, Lestat really loves Louis. He loves him.
hmm He
Yeah,
does. He'd
Britt,
do
what are your
anything
thoughts?
for him.
He loved
It's
him when
like
he
he
loved him when
loved
he
him
made
so much. He'd do anything for Louis.
himself,
And
but
he's
he
like, if
loved
I need to do this for you, I'm gonna do it.
I
And
think it's
this
a
is a
damaged love
child.
though.
It is a damaged love. It's that toxic love. But he's like, he's looking in his eyes, and he's just like, "This is what you want. Di- you know, Daddy can get it for you. All right, let me go on and get that for you. You want?
Hey, daddy.
Yeah,
Let me give
yeah,
you a baby.
yeah.
You want a
Look at daddy.
baby?
Look at daddy. My
I'll
daddy
get
gonna
you a
give it to me.
baby."
My daddy gonna give it to me.
And Daddy
my
gave it to
my
him.
French
Okay,
white daddy.
French wide daddy.
gave him a baby because that's what he
Say that
wanted.
again, Mormon.
My French white
Why
daddy.
French wide?
You want a daughter? Okay, no problem. I'm gonna get her
Daddy
for
gonna
you.
Let
bring
me
that
bring
daughter
it
to
to
Okay,
you,
you.
baby.
yeah,
Daddy gonna
daddy
bring
gonna
it
bring it to you like Santa Claus.
And
Come
speaking
down
of
at you.
speaking of Claudia, so they make Claudia. So Claudia is at the tender age of 14, y'all. So imagine
Mm-hmm.
a vampire being made at the age of 14. A lot of things are happening naturally
Horrible.
in a human's life at 14. But all of a sudden, now this is a vampire. And so she has this insatiable lust for blood.
Hmm.
Mhm. Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I love
Eric,
the
oh,
word
Eric is not with us.
insatiable.
Corey,
Yes.
Claudia's lust for blood. What did we see? What were your thoughts?
So I kind of think that Claudia's lust for blood, and I believe the reason why it is so intense is because she is so young, and I kind of equated it to puberty and lust and hormones and all those things combined together. And I think it's their attempt to kind of show her naivete, but also her youth is that she's vibrant. She's just coming into that point in a woman's life when certain things start to change, and I think she's right at that critical time. And so for her to be turned then, I think it only heightens
Mm.
that. She's a great character.
So Brittany, when we see Claudia writing in her not journal but her diary. She's like a little
Yeah,
kid, da, 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 da. And then all of a
she
sudden we
talks to it
see,
and everything.
yeah, yeah. So walk us through what's happening in your mind as it relates to Claudia.
So, as it relates to Claudia, what I see happening is that she's now opened her eyes up to this whole new world. And she's like a little kid that's never experienced anything before. Because for
Mm-hmm.
her, I think it was Storyville where she lived at, where is what got burnt up. And so
Yeah.
she was just like this whole new world with these two men. And she's like, okay, her diary now is her best friend. There aren't any other children around. It's just her. So the only thing that she has to talk to is her diary. She can't really talk to them the way she would talk to one of her little friends. So her diary now becomes her most intimate partner throughout this journey. And so what you're seeing is every single little waking moment, she's writing it down, she's talking it out, she's going through this journey along with her diary. So that's the part that I saw that I thought was deep because we finally see from a more naive way of thinking what Louis and Lestat's relationship is, along with what it really means to actually kill. Because at first she's questioning killing, but when Lestat makes the association with syrup, he said something. Y'all remember what he said about syrup?
Um, the sweet syrup or the nectar or something along those lines. He referred to
Yeah.
it something along those lines. Yeah.
It wasn't even a second thought for her. She jumped out the car and was like, I'm gonna eat that white man. And she went and
And then she and look, and she lured him too. She lured him with that little humming. I was like, look at her. She's an A-plus
Right.
predator.
She was already ready.
It's a family dynamic though, because Louis like maybe she takes after me. You know, she doesn't really want to kill. You know, it's not really her thing. And Lestat's like, oh, okay.
Fooling with him. She with him.
little do you know, she takes after daddy.
You
And
take after me.
vegetarian. I'm not a vegetarian. I eat some meat.
I like meat, please. Thank you. I like meat. I don't want no vegetables.
I won't eat now.
No vegetables for me. Ain't no vegetables around here.
I eat
Want some meat.
Sometimes you listen, we ain't all vegetarians. We ain't all good like that.
Look, no rat tails for you, huh, Erica? No rat tails.
No. Oh, okay. She like, I don't.
Okay. All right. So after this point, so we see Claudia has a lot of questions, and and that tracks, right? Kids
She's
have
precocious.
a lot of questions, and she wants to know a lot about who she is, where she comes from. She wants to know about Lestat. Who made you? Right. And I remember, I don't know if it was I think it was episode 2, where Louis was asking a lot of the same questions. How, by not having this information, how do you think this child processes this information?
I think it impacted her differently than Louis because she's a girl.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Girls don't play that shit.
She a different kind of fledgling.
And she's black. And she a black girl. Hey, Lestat, who made you?
Uncle Les.
Place, child. That nigga ain't answering none of my questions. It's a whole problem.
It's gonna be a problem. It was.
He talked about something else. That's all I'm saying.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
But a juicy
divert. I'm gonna let you put this energy somewhere else. You didn't answer my question. That's a problem.
But a juicy part is that she and Louis can communicate, and Lestat can't hear the thought. Yeah, that telepathy, that's a whole other layer to this whole family dynamic.
And in this episode, you begin to see her kind of school Louis in certain things, and not so much in this initial episode, but in later on, you do see it a little bit in this episode. But she begins to kind of give him, even though he should know. I mean, he's from the same area, the same part of the streets. He's older. He should be wiser.
Why?
But with Claudia and being a female and that intuition, she listened to Lestat, but you can tell towards the end of this episode where she starts to distrust him, and that only grows as the show progresses.
But to be fair, she's young, she's inexperienced, she
Right.
hasn't experienced that whole sexual relationship, and you know how sex jates things. First of all, Louis has a French wife. Claudia don't have that.
Wait,
You know,
wait,
so
hold on.
And her question is, where is
Hold on a
her?
second. Hold on a second. Before
Where
we do
her
that,
bae?
where her bae? Yeah. Before we get into that, we kind of jumped. The next thing that we see in this particular episode is we see Daniel Malloy. He basically has a conversation with Rashid, and as a result, Daniel, the I want to say not newscaster, but the reporter, he has some questions that he writes down, and basically he wants to know who is Rashid, y'all. Let me say, so I'm not gonna spill any beans. I'm not, no spoilers here, but all the information was there, and I just didn't see it. I didn't see it. I didn't know.
I didn't know either.
I have an idea of who he is, but I'll wait to see it a little bit when I start watching it.
Wait. You know.
I haven't watched episode 7. That's why I've been telling y'all not to spoil it for me. I ain't seen it yet.
Okay.
I'm so episode 7 has me so involved now.
I was involved from the beginning.
I didn't know who Rashid is.
Now I'm like invested. I'm like, where are we going with this?
It was the sex scene that had me.
I was going to say, when they love the fighting.
You a hot toddy. Wait a minute. Arms
So this
up. You hot
toddy. So this is how love break is supposed to be? God damn it, I've been cheated. I was invested.
That levitating sex scene was it for me.
It was like they were just flying.
Just moving to the beat of the music.
We don't need no music. We making our own music, goddamn. Okay.
They ain't need no Anita Baker. They had their own thing going. I don't know what it was, but I was
like Brittany said, hey, if Lestat say that I can call, I'll call. If only if he says it's okay. But otherwise, I ain't calling home. It's not happening. Like,
I'm not going home.
People be
home. Daddy said this is my home now, and I have to stay here.
People be feeling like they levitate.
What'd you say, Erica?
People be feeling like they levitating. That's what it is.
No, I didn't feel that.
No, actual levitation.
But look, if I did, oh Lord Jesus, which is another question. Have you ever, kind of off topic, but yet still germane, have you ever, just had the bomb sex and you were just like in love? Just in love.
Like a soul tie. Like you ain't know where you woke up and was like, where am I at? Like, yeah.
Yeah. And just confused. You're in a state of confusion.
Like, what is this? This is life.
What is going on?
Right now, friend.
Who am I? Where am I? Where are my clothes?
It don't even matter. It don't matter.
What's today's date? What time is it?
It don't matter. Time is a social construct, okay? It don't matter.
Where am I?
These people know that
I love it. Anyway.
Listen. Because Lestat said it's Sunday, even though y'all think it's Wednesday. It don't matter. Like,
listen, Lestat said you ain't got to go to work.
At all. Stay here with me.
All day.
Here's your W-2. You are now working for me.
I would be following Lestat wherever he went. If it was 19, anything.
Lestat okay.
What?
Much like the color purple. Okay, Lestat is honey and I'm a bee. Okay.
He's interested.
That's the tagline.
Lestat be honey and I'm a bee.
You want me to do what? Okay, come on, let's go. I got you.
No problem. No
Or
problem.
even worse,
Okay.
calling home. Hey, baby, this is Dad. I ain't never coming home no more.
I ain't never coming home no more.
Which is basically what Louis did.
Hey, honey,
And speaking of,
That's basically what he did. Yes.
speaking of, his mom died,
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah,
and so much
Here,
changes
my
for Louis
mom.
in that moment.
here you go. You always find a way. I love it.
Look.
These transitions
mom.
that be jagged,
yeah.
but it keeps us on target.
Uh,
So Louis gets the call that his mother passed away, and of course he takes his family with him to the funeral. I don't know if it was a wake or a funeral. Reminded me of a wake.
The wait,
Old
it was
time
a
wake.
wait. It was a wait.
Yeah,
small-
I think it was a wait.
So he goes, and of course, his sister is like, "Who are you?"
Daddy,
blue-eyed-
The shade.
You ain't had blue eyes last time I saw you.
Ooh,
Shaded.
she said, "You and your white daddy."
Yeah.
Ooh.
his sister be doing, because that is
You know
daddy.
what she be saying.
I'm gonna tell you now. That's the creator. That's everything.
Brittany, what went through your mind when you saw that particular scene?
I'm thinking this is awkward as hell for a week.
That
You
too.
know? And
That
it's
too.
layered. It's layered because you have this homosexual couple that has this ward, right?
Mhm.
Which you know
And
they really can't live like that out loud. So it's
right,
you
And then
act
the
right.
aspect, and then when Claudia was just staring over the casket, not in a
Just as
way that,
unconcerned. Just as
yes,
unconcerned.
and she was just
Oh,
like, oh, like she was at the zoo. She was
Yeah, like
looking
look
at
at
her
these
like,
animals.
This what this
Wasn't
was like.
she though?
oh, this is what
Wasn't
they
she
look
though?
like. Like it was
She
the
was.
most inappropriate thing I've ever seen in terms of a wake. Like I was like, how
Which
did they
all
even
the
come
family
up with
saw,
this?
by the way. Which they all saw, which added to
And
that,
then they
which
didn't
led
even know
to
who she was.
correct. The
I'm here with my
question.
uncle
Why
Les
didn't
and
they
my
even
daddy Lou.
introduce it? And they're like, and then here come the sister. Are y'all the two that should be taking care of her? Should it be?
Like,
I was like, oh, that's shady. Oh, that's so
Now
that
shady.
was
look,
very shady.
so that comment, that kind of, so the night that I told my mom about myself, when I was walking out the door, she was just like, you can do whatever you want to do, just don't adopt a child. And it was like,
What?
I was like, what the hell? What am I supposed to do with that? Like, what do you think I'm gonna do to the child?
Right.
Like, I don't know.
What?
That brought
No,
up
I
something.
totally understand that. I totally understand.
I'm sorry you had to go through that.
Yeah, that's,
No. It just reminded me of some things, and I really don't want to talk about that, but that is something that seems real.
But that's the mindset because of what has been, given to people. Like you're perverted, something's wrong with you, all these things. So, oh my goodness, God forbid you raise a child. Oh no, they're gonna be twisted and fucked up too. When in reality, we're all a little mad. So,
right.
because I'm homosexual does not mean that I am a pervert. Like that's not the same thing.
Erica?
if you were regular and your other person was a regular and you made an irregular, are you really regular?
What?
She went to biology with us.
Right, like, so we're talking about what is that?
If something wrong with me, it's something wrong with your ass. If I'm fucked up, you fucked up. Nah. Like, so ain't nothing wrong with me, ain't nothing wrong with your ass. End of story. Got me fucked up. Ain't nothing wrong with
Right.
We're all mad.
nothing wrong with nobody. But
I will
everybody
also say
always
too,
points fingers.
I think that when it gets to the end of this, so kind of sort of towards the end of this, I think it's this episode when you actually see the grave and it has the family history and Louis's name is included.
Mm.
And
Oof.
to me,
No, not this
I
episode.
felt
Not
like
this
this was
episode.
such a sharp
It's
turn.
not this episode.
Oh, well,
Are you,
crap.
you talking
No.
about on the tomb?
Shucks.
You talking about
It's
on the
okay.
tomb?
That's
That was
I
me.
think
I
that's the
spoiled
next
it.
one.
Oops.
That's okay, but that was deep though. Where Corey was
Yeah.
going, like that was
That
a
was
deep point.
I
Like you might as well be
I
dead to me. Like
Correct.
I cried. I thought that was sad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. All right. So Lestat takes Claudia to Lover's Lane. And at Lover's Lane, basically in that particular moment, I was just like, wait, hold up, wait a minute. Is he grooming her?
Yup.
mm,
Uh,
He's like, you're going to do elaborate, extravagant kills, and I'm gonna Daddy gonna show you how.
mm.
You want the man or the woman? Which one? Like that's Uncle Lou. Is it Uncle
Uncle
Lou or
Uncle Les,
Uncle Les? Uncle
I
Les and Daddy Lou.
I thought that he was trying to open her up to like the lust of blood, but I didn't see it
Mm.
fully. I thought that
Yeah,
he,
no, not sexually.
I think he intermingled like the sexuality of it with the hunt, you know?
Yeah.
Mm.
Like it wasn't
I can see that.
just the hunt, it wasn't just sexuality, it was both. And so he
But I
wanted,
think part of the irresponsibility on Lestat's part was she was novice. She was still a kid, so she didn't really understand all of
exactly.
those things. So it's like he kind of like hammered her right into that, you know.
Yeah.
And when she did, it was like, you know, her mind was like blown,
Yeah,
you know, which kind of segued her into like cutting off body parts later, you know,
yeah,
when we
Yeah,
get
that
into it,
bloodlust,
like, yeah, like,
like
okay,
a sociopath.
yeah.
I'm trapped into this child's body, but I should be normally progressing into these other things. So I feel like he kind of forced her into that, and she wasn't ready for it. Like she gets
But
kind of intrigued on this particular kill.
I think she
Right.
was
Oh,
headed toward that though, y'all. Do y'all remember what it was like being a teenager? Wondering when you were
yeah,
blood and this person being trapped in puberty. I think that the fact that remember if you have you got have, I've read a book or two, and I just remember them saying that it was what it was forbidden to make one so young
correct. You're
as
correct.
Claudia, because and I think it's because you trap them in puberty.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
You know, you
But you
absolutely.
know,
never get them.
even though trapping them in puberty, I also think Lestat came from a different time where like you're 14, but 14 is childbearing age, and so
Yeah,
you would be a lot further
yeah,
along. So I think like his mindset is more you should be exposed to all these things because when I was growing up, this is what I was exposed to. So I think
Mm-hmm.
that was possibly his way of thinking. Like,
Mhm.
let me treat you like the adult that you are, even though
that's a
with
valid
our
point.
frame of reference, that is
Yeah.
a child in a child's body.
That's
Is
good.
she 14 or is she
Yeah,
16?
She's
No,
14.
14.
I think
Okay.
she's
She's
14.
14. In the book, she was 5. In
Yeah.
the movie, I think, I don't know, she
in
was 8
the
or
book
9 or
she was
something.
5?
She was
Yeah,
5
she
years
was.
old.
Yeah, she was.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, so much impropriety.
I would have
So
never been able to take it on screen if it was a bad damn 5-year-old.
I couldn't see that. I couldn't see
Yeah,
a little munchkin jumping up and killing people. That's
hell
sick.
no.
yeah.
I would look
Yeah.
at kids differently for a long
Yeah.
time.
Good judgment call.
Fifi laughing.
So Elia kind of got us onto the next point. In that moment when Claudia was about to make her kill in the park, she looked at these two lovers making out, and there was a thought that went on in her head, and we kind of found out what that thought was during that particular show. And so basically, she realized that she would never grow old.
Right.
And so that puts us on another path with the evolution of Claudia. And so, of course, she finds Charlie.
Oh,
And-
Charlie.
Oh,
Charlie.
Yeah.
Paula,
poor
say,
Charlie.
Whole little
Corey?
thing.
Excuse me.
So poor Claudia. Claudia and Charlie were doomed from the start. I think that it was sweet while we were
It
watching
was
it.
really adorable.
It was adorable, but
Tell us
the whole time
catastrophic.
it ended catastrophically because she
She ate them.
couldn't help. Yeah, she couldn't help herself. She couldn't help herself
Bring
because he
us that
smelled
up.
so good, and
Oh,
he,
Charlie,
and
Charlie.
Y'all laugh.
I think that her feelings became like intertwined with her vampire lust. I think her
Yeah.
burgeoning womanhood became confused and conflicted with her vampire nature, and I think that she just another reason why they probably say you shouldn't make one so young a vampire because they can't differentiate the two.
But couldn't she
So-
have gotten the dick first? That's all I'm saying. She should, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, get that first.
I thought it
She
was at
could
the
have.
same time.
She could
I
have
thought
if she
she
would
was
have recognized that that's what she was doing.
As soon as that
It
little
was
thing
impulse.
Wait, so she
was
wasn't.
get dry.
What'd you say, Eric?
Wait, what?
I said, as soon as that little thing perked, she was draining that little neck dry.
Hey,
Ain't no
oh, Charlie.
He didn't stand a chance, poor thing. He did not. But that also sends her into a tailspin for the most part, and what happens after that is really it really starts a progression and
Trauma.
the trauma and volatile relationship that she starts to have with Lestat, who she blames for her condition, even though. And she blames Louis too, to an extent,
Yeah,
even though Louis is the one who brought her to Lestat to make her.
But at the same time,
Mhm.
it was just the way that Lestat handled the situation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There was a clear
That's-
difference. I'm sorry.
He didn't invest in her the same way Louis did.
No,
Oh,
not at all.
there was a
No.
clear
You like, here it
difference
is.
between-
Boom, here you go. I'm gonna take you
Right.
from A to 15. I'm
And
switching
Louis
from
wanted to
alphabet
be-
to
That's
numbers.
it.
And Louis wanted to be much more, softer and like understanding, what these emotions are. But Lestat was like, nah, none of that. And so that sends her into a tailspin, in my opinion. What are your thoughts?
It definitely does, because it's like, here is what it is. I'm not going to kind of ease you into anything. I need you to watch this body burn. He's
Mhm.
dead. This is what you did. No, don't look
You
away.
killed him. You-
Right.
You did.
I'm not gonna sugarcoat it for you.
You
This is
killed
what you did. Right. So
You ate him.
you know, exactly. Whereas Louis
I
is
think
more
that's exactly what
soft,
he said.
like, yeah, you ate him. Like, okay,
You gonna
no,
learn?
When you crying
I'm
for
not gonna make him a vampire. I can't. You brought him to be dead. You drained him
It was
dry.
that,
He's
it was that moment he
drinking.
picked up the hand.
It just feels like that.
He's gone.
I-
Okay.
He got to be so mean.
He's
What
a
you-
prick. He
What
is
you want
a
me to do
prick.
with this?
He's awful.
He is
And
all
poor Claudia was just
I
crying, her
love
heart
it.
out.
it's distraught.
You know, he's grabbing him by the face like, no, don't look away. This is what you did. I need you to see your work. So it's like you're dealing with those different parenting styles, right? And which is something that's very common. Like, no, okay, here's the authoritative parent versus the parent that's way more lax. You know, it's like, oh, let me just talk to you about it. No, I need you to understand. Here's the severity of what you did, and I feel like Lestat makes Claudia the monster that she is, and the
Mhm.
and not just monster, but she's clever. She's very, very clever,
Very
and
clever.
more so than Louis is, because Claudia is a dog. Like, Claudia is like, she has Lestat's brain and primitive nature, whereas she has Louise, like, she cares about Louise, and it seems like not really anybody else, honestly. Like, she cares about his feelings and those things, but she's primitive in nature. Like, no, I gotta kill whoever I gotta kill, and we're gonna get away from Lestat, and that's the end.
Right.
And
I
so,
love it.
as a result,
It's very
of all
cut
of
and
that,
dry.
as a result of all of that, Claudia experiences trauma, pain. And we see at the very end of the episode how she deals with that trauma. Erica.
Oh, that's good.
I pass.
No. You know, at the end of the episode, it's like she has this whole soliloquy, right? She has this monologue, and she's kind of dipping into the sunlight, you know, and kind of burning herself, like this self mutilation kind of sort of thing going on. So I just wanted y'all to get me quiet now.
She really freaked the fuck out when she realized she was trapped in a pubescent body. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I
She
had
did.
an
So-
immature body.
So I equated that moment with
I don't know about y'all, but I had an immature body. I would have flipped the fuck out too.
so
I'm
I
gonna
equated
kill
that
all
moment.
you niggas. If I gotta stay 14 for the rest of my life,
Well, these
all
guys,
you niggas gonna die.
double A cups. That's all I got.
So I equated that
for
moment
the
to
rest of
when
my
people cut themselves.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh yeah.
Wait, what'd he say?
Oh, the
So
cutting.
Cutting.
Yeah. It was like a release of pain. It was like she needed to know that she was alive. She needed to know that she was somebody, that she, like, you know what I'm saying? Like that
she
pain
exists.
made her alive. Yes, that pain made her exist.
I think this is the first step too, because then later on, doesn't she start to progress even more mutilations and all this other kind of stuff? That's later on.
Yeah. Next episode.
She's pretty dark. Like I
Yeah,
look
she
at
is.
it like the last scene of her burning her arm was really dark and shows that the death of Charlie took her from this naive, novice, innocent, oh, everything's sunshine, rainbows, and darkness, and oh man, blood everywhere. You know, just this curiosity about everything that it meant to be a vampire, to now looking at it like, okay, this is not so cool. I'm stuck in this body forever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how I feel about it. This guy that I
And I
like,
blame
and I
you.
wanted, and I blame you, Lestat, Daddy. And I don't understand why I'm not gonna grow. I don't understand why this happened to me, and I want more blood, and everybody's gonna have to die.
What she
And
said,
it just
flat chested, no
super
hair.
He did say that
flat-chested.
though.
No, she said that about herself.
Oh, she did.
Yes,
Yes,
she
she
did.
did. Yes, she did. She did.
So
And
that
then
goes back to the
Louis reading the diary and realizing, okay, this is where I failed as a parent.
Mhm.
Right.
Is when Charlie
So
died. This is where I failed.
So for me, it's the pursuit of blood with all a child's demanding. Okay, so it's like a child. It doesn't matter if you gotta kill someone or not. I'm hungry. This is what it is. This
Mhm.
is at the most primal level. This is what it is. And
You trapped
the,
him.
exactly that part. So she's trapped. That's it. I can't think any further than that. I'm trapped at that. This is the demanding. This is what I need to survive and to be okay. So, you know, whereas you got Louis that decides he's gonna be a vampirarian, you know.
I like
That was
that.
good. I just came about. I just came out the door. A vampirarian. You know, versus, you know, Claudia, like, nope. You know, I'm gonna kill. I'm gonna do what I gotta do because that's just at my most primal level what I need.
That's
You know.
right. She want that
I agree.
two-legged meat.
I agree.
I ain't mad at her. I wouldn't be bullshitting either.
Like I'm
Like,
sticking
Like,
with
this is not a game at this point.
these tiny
Mm-mm.
boobs in his body, and I'm just gonna be me forever. Okay, I'm gonna show you.
She said at one point she was just like, "Who gonna?" She cursed. She said, "Who
Right.
gonna have sex with me? Who gonna have? Is it you, Lestat?
Right.
Is it you, Louis? Who gonna do it? Who gonna do it?
Y'all got each other like I don't see y'all climbing each other coffin at
Who is
night.
my Louis?
Right.
Who is my Lestat?"
Lestat say I like more of a voluptuous.
Lestat, there we go with a Lestat quote right there.
It-
These
that was that. That's what
Him
I said.
being a
voluptuous.
prick once again.
That's my favorite quote. I like a more voluptuous woman, and he know this woman ain't got no curves. He know she trapped in pubescent body. Like you wrong for that, bro.
I think this is also the part where she really starts to her attitude towards Lestat starts to change a little bit more.
Yeah.
And it starts to kind of
Mhm.
bend a little bit.
Yeah, especially after you make me
Oh, Charlie.
watch my lover burn in the incinerator and refuse to allow me to look away. Like, I'm looking at you different now, Uncle Les. You ain't Uncle Les no more. You not.
I don't rock
You're
with
not.
you.
You're not. We gonna have a problem.
You gonna have a whole problem.
This is
You
more
still
drama.
Uncle Les, but what does Uncle Les mean now?
Right.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Evil.
And as much as it did
Yeah.
before, as much as it did before that, like.
All right, y'all. I think we have talked enough about episode 4. Episode 4 is titled The Ruthless Pursuit of Blood with All a Child's Demanding. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share on all your social media platforms. It's been wonderful. Thank you all for watching. See you.